operated by the Motor City Theater Organ Society. All volunteers. In the beginning, we have big arguments about whether we should buy or not buy. And the arguments were, we're amateurs, we don't know how to run theater. One faction said, no, we don't know how. The other faction said, so what? We'll figure it out.
Well, I grew up on West Brooks, a couple blocks away, and this was my neighborhood movie theater. I saw several Jerry Lewis movies. I saw Jerry Lewis in person here. We repainted the walls back to what they were in 28. We stripped everything down, made copies of the original stencils, reapplied everything. So what you see in the theater is a representation of what it was in 1928. I actually asked George to help me with a business set. And one of the things I had him do was he painted a brick wall for me. He wanted to use a stencil, which wasn't working. So he ended.
You said it wasn't going to work.
It wasn't working. So we ended up taking a piece of sponge and cutting it right sizes in room paint, and he dipped it and did each brick individually.
I don't know how many bricks I painted, but that was a whole lot.
A whole lot. And I thank you for that, George.
This was the first theater the Goldberg family, Community Theaters, had purchased in 1931. So they had a soft spot in their heart for the place. They always came back to Redford. That was where it all started. So they felt that we would be the best stewards for the place. They approached the Organ Club and announced their plans. They were closing the theater down. They were getting out of these big single auditorium theaters. And what did we know about taking over a theater? Well, luckily enough of us were in favor of it, and young and enthusiastic and probably naive enough that we said, let's just do it. So we were doing these children's matinees, and we were doing all of these B-list kids movies that were, you knew the name. It would be like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It wasn't the Disney version, of course, because that was locked away by Disney. It was, and I'm not exaggerating, there were films released on the K-Tel label that were made in Germany like a decade prior and badly dubbed in English. And this is our product. This is what we're selling. And Snow White looked a little more like Brunhilde than Snow White. And some pretty freaky looking dwarves. But we still had 400 or 500 people for a show. And of course we featured the organ. We always featured the organ before. And that started the film thing going here, which is what the theater was built to do. This ginormous movie screen, which hadn't been raised in 30 years. And we made the stage operational again, so that we could use the stage for rentals.
2 years ago, I joined Rotary, which is a organization, a charitable organization that tries to help most of the community. And one of the things I thought about this would be a great marriage to be able to bring two of my loves together. One, helping people as a medicine medical field, but also the organ. So tonight, what really brought us here is we thought this would be a great way to do what's called a friend raiser, and that is to just raise awareness of some of the charity work that we do in Rotary. Motor City Theater Organ Society is a really perfect marriage of two charitable organizations, because as I'm sure you know, the Redford Theater, all of it is voluntary.
So over the past couple of years, we did invite Mary Beck, which a lot of people heard, which was a huge success. Timmy Heckman came to the theater for words. She spoke about the film, she spoke about her experience with Mr. Hitchcock. She signed autographs at the theater. Her line was probably 200 deep at the show. Knockout success, we sold out on Saturday nights. It was a wonderful experience. What we're trying to do is keep the legacy of basketball alive and also continue to make this not only just a place to come on a Saturday night, but to have a unique experience in trying to come. Wish people happy birthday, wish people happy anniversary, we sing to them, we invite groups to come and just enjoy the experience together, and that's what we think sets us apart.
I'm author, I've been involved probably about 30 years. I've been in the projection booth around 25, and we began coming here to the movies, and eventually website and taking care of the emails, secretary, board of directors. So there's always a number of things to be filled, and it's just a matter of time and how much attention you put into different things.
Hello, I'm Carl Campbell, development manager at Sweeney Theater in the United States. One of the most unique things we sell are sweet potato cookies, which are baked right across the street, and they are very popular with all people that come here. The concession stand kept us going for many years, and now theater is self-supporting. This is called Moving Our Future. Well, it's been a lot of work. That open comes up, everybody comes in the door, it's not happy. It's everything worthwhile.
Thank you for your attention and your applause, and as I reflect on the Motor City Theater Organ Society and all the volunteers here, it's about love. That may sound cornball, but it's a love for this building and actually a love for this organ, which is, I think, one of the reasons it bought the building in the first place in 1975. So we'd like you to consider, this did not happen and it doesn't run just by magic. It involves volunteers, and we have a lot of fun, and we believe in our mission here. We are on the National Register of Historic Places, this building. We are on the Michigan Register of Historic Places. We've been recognized by Turner Classic Movies. We have events year-round of all kinds for every age, and you're here. I'm sort of preaching to the choir in here. But what I'd like to ask you to do is to think about, if you're not a member, getting involved. That's really one of the reasons we're doing this tonight. And I've been involved for over 20 years. I've been coming up on the stage. I remember they asked me to tell some anecdote about my being an announcer. First time I got up here, I remember I was all excited. I had my little script I'd written. And I said, let's hear it for John Lauder at the Wurlitzer organ. I was immediately called to the office. I was not a theater organ aficionado, and they corrected me. This is a Martin organ, for gosh sakes. So there are some very serious theater organ people here. And again, it's a labor of love. I won't even call it a labor. So we'd like you to really think about, you can still get involved in all kinds of ways. I think there are still seats that you can buy and sponsor. They're up in the upper areas of the balcony. Anybody up in the balcony, make some noise for me. You're representing, that's very good. So here, we're so happy you're here for the 96th anniversary. And what I'd like you to do tonight, we have, and I'm not very good at this, these QR codes. You can scan your phone. We have, I think, 4 locations in the inner and the outer lobby where you can scan and get a form to become a member and to be part of our family here. And you can work at the concession stand, you can work on building issues, you can do any number of things. If you like trains, you can help us with our holiday trains. There's something that you could do. And, we're an institution in Detroit, and really, nationally, people know about the Redford Theater. So as we look ahead to 100, we're at 96 tonight. Can you imagine what people would thought of this is going to be open in 96 years? It did not just happen. So check out those QR codes, or there are going to be people in the lobby also who are members of the Motor City Theater Organ Society. They'll be glad to talk to you about possibilities, opportunities, signing up. So thank you for thinking about that, and thank you for seeing our film, and it really speaks for itself. So we're glad you're here. Are you feeling good on a Saturday night, by the way? I know the balcony people are feeling good. And the days are getting longer, and we're so glad the Lions aren't playing tonight. And we dodged a bullet there, because there would be I would not be here, frankly. So let me just give you, you know the drill if you are a regular, and many of you are. Please visit our concession stand. It's the best in town, best value, and so forth. And the people are very friendly who will help you with your M&Ms and your sweet potato cookies and so forth. We try to be connected to the community here. So the concession stand also tonight is no different from a regular movie. We will be having our 50-50 raffle draw kind of toward the end of intermission. I'll be back to pick some winners, and you can buy tickets on the right side of the outer lobby. They're $1 a piece, 7 for $5, or 18 for $10. So if you'd like to be part of our 50-50, which again supports what we do here. I think Larry, the t-shirt guy, I saw him out there, and he has some special 96th anniversary birthday bye-bye birdie shirts out there. So please say hello to Larry out there. So let me just say a few words about tonight's movie. It's from 1963, and I would say it's loosely based on Elvis Presley, who was actually drafted in the late 50s at the peak of his early fame, and did his 2 years. He did his deuce in the army, I think mostly in Germany. And but when Elvis got drafted, this was somewhat of a trauma. It'd be somewhat of they were going to really miss Elvis. It's almost like he was dying. So this is the product. This is drawn from a very successful Broadway musical, and it's loosely based on Elvis' story. So I think we should just go ahead and get to the film. I'm trying to think who's in this. Suzanne Plachette, Janet Leigh, Paul Lind, who steals the movie for my money. You see if you're Sullivan. Dick Van Dyke, and this is really a coming out party for Anne Margaret. We have Anne Margaret fans in the room. So let's go ahead and begin to enjoy our wonderful film tonight from 1963, I believe in Technicolor, Bye Bye Birdie.